Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome PCI President and CEO, Bob Risser.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 94th Annual Membership Meeting and Convention of PCI. My name is Bob Risser. I'm the President and CEO. For COVID precautions, we did not print programs for the events that are about to unfold. You can get the program on the PCI website. It's on the app, and it was also attached to any of the daily briefings that you got here at the convention. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to our terrific convention sponsor companies. We greatly appreciate their continued partnership. As I read your company's name, if a representative could please stand. Our bronze sponsors, DRL Drafting and Design, ALP Supply, Helzer Industries, Trimble, Sylvan Precast Systems, and Ultraspan. Thanks to our bronze sponsors. Now I'd like to introduce our silver sponsors, Hamilton Form Company, All Plane Incorporated, Conac Concrete Product Solutions, Master Builders Solutions, and Optimum Safety Management. Thank you so much. Our gold sponsors are Leviat and GCP Applied Technologies. Thank you for your support. And lastly, our platinum sponsor, JVI. Thank you. I'd also like to thank JVI and Trimble for sponsoring the lunch today. Thank you so much for that. And I'd also like to call attention and thank JVI for being the sponsor of the day here for the show and the convention. Before we begin the proceedings, I would like to acknowledge the PCI members that have passed on this past year. Can we please have a moment of silence for their contribution? Thank you. We also have a number of past board of directors chairs here in the audience, many of whom are still very active in the PCI community. Can all of the past board chairs who are with us this afternoon please stand and be recognized? Okay, before we get started, I just have a few remarks to make, and I got to start off with the most important one. We did it. Look around. We made it. We made it through what has been obviously a very, very trying year. And I want you to give all yourselves a tremendous round of applause for attending this year's convention in person. Thank you so much. Our total attendance for this convention is over 800, which is almost 90% of the attendance that we had in Fort Worth last year. And in person, we're over 65% of the attendance that we had at Fort Worth. So congratulations to all of you for sticking with PCI and supporting this event. Through this pandemic, and since we were last together at PCI, we've done all sorts of amazing things in the last year. We completed construction and moved PCI into a brand new headquarters near O'Hare. We launched the How Precast Builds microsite, a new learning management system, a new certification management system which is about to go live. We brought the QC schools online and conducted virtual committee days and managed the design awards, all from our dining rooms and studies. Along the way, we showed how technology could help us keep the Institute running without physically being together, ushering in what appears to be a new era here at PCI. This week, we're experimenting with conducting hybrid committee meetings and council meetings, and as far as our production company Marks tells us, we are the first association in the country to experiment with this hybrid technology and giving access to PCI meetings for those who couldn't join us here in New Orleans. At their meeting in February, the Board of Directors authorized the creation of a task group that will look at the future of hybrid meetings and what it might mean to PCI events and policy and member involvement in the Institute going forward. So I want to take this opportunity to thank all the member volunteers, committee and council chairs, and of course the tremendous PCI staff for keeping us going this past year and continue to provide value to PCI membership. Thank you so much. Since the 2019 convention in Louisville, we created something we call PCI Cares, where we pick a charity to support in the local city where the convention is held. This year, PCI Cares is pleased to announce its partnership with the Roots of Music as the charity organization for the 2021 PCI Annual Convention. The Roots of Music program provides music history and theory as well as instrumental instruction. They serve children ages 9 to 14 from low-income households, provide students with hot meals, round-trip transportation, and reduce common barriers to participation in music. 5 days a week, 12 months a year, this program delivers over 2,500 hours of music education and other academic tutoring, over 30,400 nutritious hot meals, 1,400 bus journeys, and supplies over 150 instruments for student use. If you have any further questions about the Roots of Music, please visit their website at www.therootsofmusic.com or reach out to our Manager of Business Development, Treese Turner, who helps head this up for us. So far, as of last night's opening reception, we've raised over $650. So if you've made a contribution already, thank you so much. If you haven't yet, please consider donating to this worthy cause. And right now, we'd like to show you a little bit about the Roots of Music.
Good evening. My name is Larson, and I play snare drum.
I started thinking about Roots of Music when I was in junior high school. When I was at Andrew J. Bell, my junior high band director showed a special interest in myself. And I used to always think to myself, if we had 4 or 5 more of him, we could save a lot more of the kids that were hanging around that wanted to be a part of the program, but just couldn't be a part because he was limited to a certain amount of kids that he could touch.
The Roots of Music is a nonprofit organization, and we provide access and opportunities to the children of New Orleans. We provide free music education, free academic mentoring, we provide instruments, we provide transportation, and we also provide a hot meal for our students. And we want to make sure that they have every opportunity in the world and that their dreams can come true.
The children of Roots of Music represent New Orleans, every dangerous neighborhood, everything that's bad that we thought we didn't think about after Katrina. You know, we were thinking about a lot of stuff of rebuilding and getting our lives back together, getting the lights back on, getting the economy back up, but we didn't think about our children. We didn't think about what the children needed to get back to their normal life.
When the arts are taken out of school, you take something out of the child. Their spirit to be free, to be able to create, to enjoy life. The creative force is not something you can just stop or just turn off and on. It's a very specific and lovely part of our beings that needs to be nurtured.
Kids need an outlet, you know. It was something that really saved me emotionally along the way from my trouble, and it's a way of releasing, pain from your body. We all experience that with music, and I think what's happening at Roots of Music is so vital because it's establishing a connection, a relationship between the professional working musicians of New Orleans and a young kid who's never picked up an instrument. It's all kinds of really empowering stuff that they're getting there that's, I'm sure, going to transfer all over their lives and their futures.
The whole idea of education is to expand and broaden opportunity. Some people believe limiting the access to kids protects their own interests. It's a zero-sum mentality. If I keep you over there, then I'll be able to get the best for me. And that's what happens that, the founders of Roots of Music saw. How can a city that created one of the only original art forms in the world that came out of America, jazz, literally we can go stand on its birthplace right here, deny that very thing to the children who are heirs to that legacy? And that's what the Roots of Music is all about. That's why you should support it. That's why you should give to it, because it is feeding fuel to the very thing that makes us successful as not only a city and state, but as a nation. The human capital, our very children.
There's information about the Roots of Music on every table, and again, I encourage you to think about donating to this worthy cause. To begin our awards presentation, we'd like to acknowledge our premier partners at PCI. These associate member companies have committed a significant level of support for the Institute. As I call your company's name, please stand to be recognized. Your plaques will be delivered to your booth after the lunch program when we go over to the show floor. Our 2021 premier partners are JVI, Optimum Safety Management, Hamilton Form Company, GCP Applied Technologies, Allplan, Master Builders Solutions, Skako Concrete, Conac Concrete Product Solutions, Endicott Thin Brick, Leviat, Thin Wall, Midwest, High Concrete Accessories, E-Construct, and PTAC Consulting Engineers. How about a nice round of applause for our premier partners? Since 2004, each year a class of outstanding individuals are selected from candidates nominated by PCI member organizations. The Leadership PCI program offers an extraordinary opportunity for companies to accelerate the growth of high-potential employees and to contribute to the participation in PCI. Leadership PCI provides each participant with knowledge of current industry issues, enhanced leadership skills, expertise in networking and relationship building, an understanding of PCI operations and available resources, and a heightened sense of pride in the industry. On our board of directors right now, we have 4 LPCI graduates, including our current chair, Dennis Fink. Joining this great group is the 2020 graduating class. Now, it has become legend that each LPCI class thinks it's special. But this particular class has had a unique experience of trying to complete its work during a global pandemic. This group should be rightfully proud of persevering and staying together to finally have their in-person boot camp just a few short weeks ago. Congratulations to this group that has already nicknamed itself the COVID class. Usually we would welcome this group. At this point, I would like each of the members of that class to come join me on the stage as I call each of your names. Colin Bender from Conewago Precast Building Systems, Dylan Dudley, Forterra Building Products, Evan Fink, Northeast Prestress Products, Spencer Hines, Tyndall Corporation, Virginia Division, Glenn Hunter, TRC Worldwide, Dustin Jones with Wells Concrete, Joshua T. Lee with Ross Bryan Associates, James McKay, PDM Precast, Ray Manahan, Consulting Engineers Group, Harry Nash, the High Concrete Group, Jordan Watkins with PTAC Consulting Engineers, and Christopher Zajac with ATMI Precast. Give this great group a round of applause. We now want to acknowledge plants that have achieved a certain milestone of years of continuous certification. During 2020, the following plants attained significant PCI certification milestones. If you see your company name and are in the audience, please stand to be recognized. Celebrating 10 years of continuous certification are Bocella Precast, Confab California, Fabcon Precast LLC, Mahanahoy City, Fabcon Precast Pleasanton, Fabcon Precast Savage, Harper Precast, ICC Illini Concrete, Keycon, Metromont Corporation, Stone Cast Products, Structure Cast, United Concrete Products, and United Concrete Products. Congratulations on 10 years. Celebrating 15 years of continuous certification, ATMI Indianapolis, Forterra Building Products, LC Whitford Materials, and Midstate Precast. Congratulations. Celebrating 20 years of certification, Atlantic Metrocast, Core Slab Structures Connecticut, DeAmron Building Systems, GPRM Prestress, International Concrete Products, Kirkstra Precast, Knife River Prestress, Metromont Corporation, Missoula Concrete Construction, Prestress of the Carolinas, Béton Préfabrique de Lac, the Papeterie Plant, and Willis de Mexico Tecate Plant. Congratulations. Celebrating 25 years of continuous certification, Artex Systems, Bellingham Marine Industries, Core Slab Structures Albuquerque, Core Slab Structures Tulsa, Encon Colorado, Gate Precast in Pearland, Texas, J&R Slaw, Peninsula Prestress Company, Prestress Services Industries of Ohio, Rockla Concrete Tie, Béton Préfabrique de Lac in Bombardier, and StressCon Limited, St. John plant. Congratulations. "30 years of certification. Carr Concrete, Core Slab Structures, Texas, County Materials in Missouri, Midcon Products, Ross Prestress Concrete, Standard Concrete Products, Wilbert Precast, and Willis Construction Company, San Juan Bautista plant. Congratulations. 35 years of certification. Concrete Building Systems of Delmar, Gate Precast Company in Winchester, Kentucky, Prestress Services Industries, Decatur plant, and Prestress Services Industries, their Lexington plant, and Venoris Prestress. Congratulations. Celebrating 40 years of certification, Boykin Brothers, Concrete Industries, Concrete Technology Corporation, Core Slab Structures Miami, County Materials in Champaign, Illinois, County Materials in Salem, Illinois, Gulf Coast Prestress, Manco Structures, Prestress Casting, Wells Concrete, Albany, Minnesota, and Atlanta Structural Concrete. Congratulations. We have one plant celebrating 45 years of certification, High Concrete Group in Denver, Pennsylvania. And finally, two plants celebrating 50 years of continuous PCI certification, Encon, Arizona, and Wells Concrete in Brighton, Colorado. Congratulations. We also want to celebrate erector companies that have attained a particular milestone. Celebrating 10 years of erector certification are Precon Construction and Prime Steel Erecting. Congratulations to them as well. The 15th Annual Engineering Student Design Competition, also known as the Big Beam Contest, is a national competition created to teach university students important structural engineering skills in an applied learning environment. The first place award goes to Team 2 from University of Notre Dame. Congratulations. Our representative there. The winner of the Keith Kaufman Award for Best Report goes to Team 2, King Beam from Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And lastly, the winner of the Best Video goes to Team 1 from Lehigh University. Congratulations to the Lehigh team. Let's take a look at a little of that video.
What a nice beach.
Yeah, I'm totally happy that our trip wasn't cut short by a global pandemic.
I'm thankful for the people at NPP Plan in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, who were kind enough to help us fabricate the beam 12 days before testing. They helped prepare the formwork and pre-trenching the strands to 75% of its ultimate strength.
Honestly, the testing stage was definitely the most thrilling for me. Being able to use a 5 million pound testing machine with an error of only about 5 pounds is just insane.
I couldn't take my eyes off the beam when the load was being applied. I was really nervous as we approached each checkpoint in our process.
That's exactly why this was the favorite part of the whole competition. Slowly applying more and more weight to the beam and stopping at small increments to check for cracking was just nerve-wracking. And seeing the exact displacement being plotted constantly was cool to make sure we weren't surpassing the requirements.
Congratulations to the Lehigh team, and we want to also thank the sponsor of the 2020 Big Beam program, Aspire Magazine. We'd now like to present awards that honor and recognize achievements of precast professionals all over this great country. It's an honor for a precast professional to join the elite group of PCI Fellows. Fellows are nominated by the Fellows Nominating Committee and confirmed by the Board of Directors. They are current or former PCI members who've made outstanding contributions to the precast concrete structures industry and to PCI in the areas of education, research, design, production, quality, erection, marketing, or management. I'd like to ask past fellows who are here with us today in the audience to please stand and be acknowledged. Past fellows. Today we welcome 7 new members to this exclusive group. Will these new fellows who are in the audience please stand and be recognized as we play the following video.
Sergio Briny is a professor and associate department head at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. A PCI member since 2003, his many contributions include active involvement in the Blue Ribbon Review Committee for the 8th edition Industry Handbook, chairing the Student Education Committee, and acting as both supervisor and judge for the Big Beam competition. Sergio's current committee work includes the Design Standard Committee, the PCI Academy Advisory Board, and the 9th edition Industry Handbook Committee. He has taught and developed extensive materials for PCI courses and is also involved in the technical work of PCI Northeast. Sergio's outstanding educational achievements were recognized with the PCI Young Educator Award in 2011 and the Distinguished Educator Award in 2019. For his many contributions to PCI and the precast concrete industry, PCI is proud to honor Sergio Briny as a PCI Fellow. Todd Culp is the General Manager and Vice President of Core Slab Structures Incorporated in Omaha, Nebraska. Todd has long been an important contributor to PCI and the precast concrete industry on both the regional and national levels. A founding member and past chair of PCI Midwest, he serves on the chapter's board of directors and as a regional representative to the PCI board. He is also the Vice Chair of the Total Precast Systems Committee and a consulting member of the Architectural Certification Subcommittee. Todd is widely praised by colleagues and peers for his leadership, the high quality of his research and technical contributions, and his enduring commitment to the advancement of precast concrete. For his many contributions to PCI and the precast concrete industry, PCI is proud to honor Todd Culp as a PCI Fellow. Mary Ann Grigas-Smith is the Director of Corporate Engineering at Tyndall Corporation in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Mary Ann has worked in the precast concrete industry for more than 2 decades and is actively involved in the work of PCI. Currently, she serves on the Technical Activities Council and the 9th Industry Handbook Committee. As a member of the Fire Committee, she was instrumental in developing the first PCI Fire Standard. She also served on the 8th edition Design Handbook Blue Ribbon Review Committee, as well as on multiple advisory committees. Mary Ann is esteemed by her colleagues and peers for her technical expertise as well as her integrity, communication skills, and mentorship of young engineers. For her many contributions to PCI and the precast concrete industry, PCI is proud to honor Mary Ann Grigas-Smith as a PCI Fellow. David Larson is the president of Unity Design Incorporated in Buffalo Grove, Illinois, which he founded with a partner in 2014. David was a part of the inaugural class of the Leadership PCI program in 2004. Since then, he has been a highly contributing member of several PCI committees, including the Professional Member Committee, which he previously chaired, the Joint and Connection Design Committee, several editions of the Industry Handbook Committee, and 4 years on the PCI board as a professional member director. Colleagues and peers speak highly of David's technical skills and knowledge, his insights and tenacity, and the high caliber of his committee work. For his many contributions to PCI and the precast concrete industry, PCI is proud to honor David Larson as a PCI Fellow. Alexander Mihailov is a principal with Vector Structures LLC in Auburn, Washington. Alex joined PCI in 2003 and was part of the inaugural Leadership PCI class in 2004. Since then, he's been active on numerous committees, including seismic, building codes, and blast resistance and structural integrity. He has chaired the Total Precast Systems and Professional Member Committees and served on the Board of Directors for 2 terms. Alex has made significant contributions to the Industry Handbook as part of the 7th edition Blue Ribbon Review Team and as a voting member of the 8th and 9th edition committees. His peers and colleagues praise his technical expertise, his exceptional committee work, and his dedication to advancing our industry. For his many contributions to PCI and the precast concrete industry, PCI is proud to honor Alex Mihailov as a PCI Fellow. Chris Mosley is president and CEO of CEG Group in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is the parent company of the Consulting Engineers Group. Since participating in the inaugural Leadership PCI class in 2004, Chris's insights and knowledge have benefited many PCI committees, including the Building Code Committee, the 8th edition Industry Handbook Committee, and the 7th edition Blue Ribbon Review Committee. Currently, he serves on the Technical Activities Council, is a professional member director on PCI's board, and a consulting member of the Student Education Committee. Chris is well known among his peers and colleagues as a true expert and generous mentor who gives willingly of his time and expertise. For his many contributions to PCI and the precast concrete industry, PCI is proud to honor Chris Mosley as a PCI Fellow. Cheryl Richkoff is a project engineer with TRC Worldwide Engineering Incorporated in Allentown, Pennsylvania. A graduate of the 2009 Leadership PCI class, Cheryl is a longtime, highly contributing member of PCI. She has served on a number of PCI committees, including Building Codes, Parking Structures, and the Professional Member Committee, of which she is currently Vice Chair. As a member and now Chair of the Fire Committee, she played a crucial part in developing our first standard, PCI 124. She has also served as a professional member director on the PCI board. Cheryl is highly valued by her peers and colleagues for the knowledge, dedication, and diligence she brings to all aspects of her career and committee work. For her many contributions to PCI and the precast concrete industry, PCI is proud to honor Cheryl Richkoff as a PCI Fellow.
Please congratulate at this time, I'd like to welcome our 2021 Chair of the PCI Board, Dennis Fink, to the stage to help me present the next awards. PCI established the Mario J. Bertolini Leadership and Innovation Award to honor renowned engineer Mario Bertolini, who passed away in 2014. The award was created to recognize individuals who, while in senior management positions of PCI producer member firms, consistently exhibited the personal and professional traits exemplified by Mr. Bertolini. I'm delighted to present the Mario J. Bertolini Leadership and Innovation Award to Ed Knowles from Walters & Wolff Precast. Ed, would you please join me on the stage?
I thought they were going to have a little video. Well, I wanted to thank everybody. This is overwhelming and a tremendous honor to be awarded this and to be part of the group of individuals that have received this award previously. I was somewhat leery of getting into the precast industry when I started many years ago, but after a few years of working with a consulting engineer, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. I've enjoyed all of my years in the industry and all of my association with the PCI group and everybody in this room. It's really been very enjoyable. I've also had the opportunity to form very many lifelong relationships through this group. I've also been fortunate to have the opportunity to work with many of the leaders of the industry, and it's tremendous to have that opportunity. I'd like to thank my colleagues and my friends that supported me for this award. Thank you very much for that. And I'd like to thank Helen for all of her support for all these years. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Edward S. Knowles is Vice President of Walters & Wolff Precast in Fremont, California. A decades-long veteran of the precast concrete industry, an active PCI member since 1983, Ed has made numerous contributions to the advancement of research, the PCI body of knowledge, and plant certification. He has continually worked for the industry through committees and task forces to disseminate the best practices of precast concrete to the industry at large. A tireless advocate for PCI, he has been a leader in the fields of architectural precast concrete and GFRC cladding systems. As chair of the GFRC committee, he was instrumental in developing the now widely used recommended practice for GFRC. Ed served as the Zone 1 Director on the PCI Board of Directors for 4 years and is the past president of the PCI West chapter. His dedication and leadership have directly influenced the development and growth of our industry in the PCI West region and beyond. Ed is widely admired and respected by his colleagues and peers for his integrity, selfless leadership, and his infectious passion for precast concrete. In 2015, Ed was honored as a PCI Fellow for his exceptional contributions and service to the precast concrete industry and to PCI. Please join us in congratulating the recipient of the 2021 Mario J. Bertolini Leadership and Innovation Award, Edward Knowles.
Now it's time to present PCI's most prestigious award, the Pci Medal of Honor. Nominees for the Medal of Honor have made a highly significant contribution to the precast concrete structures industry and have demonstrated a sincere continuing interest in the Institute. Please turn your attention to the screen as we announce the recipient of this prestigious PCI award.
Robert N. Bruce Jr. was a professor of structural engineering and the Catherine and Henry Bow Chair in Civil Engineering at Tulane University in Louisiana, where he earned both his bachelor's and master's degrees. Following his studies at Tulane, Bob joined Raymond International Incorporated. During his time with the firm, he was involved in major national and international projects, which notably included the pile design for the world-famous Lake Pontchartrain Causeway in Louisiana.
Even when he was working in the industry with Raymond Pre-Stressed Piles and his work on the causeway, that generated new thoughts of how we can precast an entire bridge.
After completing his doctorate in civil engineering at the University of Illinois Urbana, Bob returned to Tulane University, where he taught for the next 45 years.
Dr. Bruce was one of those faculty that always had the time to talk to you.
You learned as a student at Tulane that he was your greatest ally and that he would make sure you were doing your best and he would get the best out of you.
During his academic career, he also served as a visiting faculty member at several international universities, including the University of Ghent, the Rangoon Institute of Technology, and the Technical University of Budapest. During summers, he conducted research on nuclear weapons effects at universities and institutes across the country.
He was a hero to all of us because we thought he lived the most fascinating life, and I still think he did.
Bob was a pioneer in the field of pre-stressed concrete, and his work had a major impact on the U.S. pre-stressed concrete industry.
He attended the very first PCI convention in 1955. That convention had a profound impact on his life. As he would say, he went back to the swamps of Louisiana and built a career of teaching young minds like myself pre-stressed concrete.
He conducted numerous research studies for the Louisiana Transportation Research Center and was instrumental in the adoption of high-strength and ultra-high-strength pre-stressed concrete structural elements by the Louisiana Department of Transportation. The specifications for high-performance concrete that he helped write are still in use today.
It was obvious to me that the name Bob Bruce carried gravitas. This man was someone that was respected by, I think, everyone that worked with him.
Bob was well known throughout the country for his numerous technical achievements, his mentorship of young engineers, and his tireless and enduring commitment to pre-stressed concrete and the growth of the civil engineering profession.
Our industry, without a doubt, is better for Robert Bruce being a part of it.
His achievements were recognized by multiple national and international awards and honors during his lifetime. In 2001, he was honored as a PCI Fellow, and in 2016 was presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award by the PCI Gulf South Chapter.
He's a wonderful man, someone I always remember that influenced my career and many, many other engineers. And you just don't find that very often in people that teach in this industry.
He is remembered by former students, colleagues, and friends as a tremendous teacher and mentor, a brilliant yet practical engineer, and a lively storyteller.
He was an all-around engineer, and to receive this award is very fitting for the contribution he made over many years.
To me, Bob Bruce's legacy is loyalty, friendship, honesty, professionalism, competence, and helping people who are in need of help.
I think this award is just going to lift the spirits of so many people who were touched by Dr. Bruce's life.
PCI is proud to honor Robert Bruce with the 2021 Medal of Honor.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you coming in today. My name is Robert Bruce. I am Dr. Bruce's son, and I am not an engineer. But I am honored to accept this award today on behalf of my father, Robert Nolan Bruce Jr. And before I start and before I receive the award, I would like for Catherine and Kevin to come up here with me, please. Come on. Okay, so I'm going to read this. I'm not going to fake it. I'd also like to thank Matt, Kevin, and Blondie. They were there with my dad when he passed away this year. Come on. It's okay. I don't bite. I could. Thank you. Okay. Dear Dad, thank you for being a kind man to me. When I was a young lad of 4, I remember when you cut some of my chest hair, you were a hairy guy, glued it on my chest, and I walked around on Pearl Street stating that I am a man. I also remember seeing Santa Claus that year. Thank you for not spanking me very hard when I broke Mom's expensive vase. Thank you for respecting my mother. You taught me respect. Thank you for taking me out on the junk canoe and having the patience to teach me how to sail. I finally learned to keep the helm straight. You taught me direction. I'll never forget belling up to the bar at the Southern Yacht Club when I was just a child. You taught me how to handle alcohol. Thank you for taking me on the St. Patrick's Day parade at 15 years old and showing me how to jump from the back of a moving truck to the hood of another moving truck while intoxicated. You taught me how to enjoy life. It's a true story. Thank you for helping me go to the culinary university of my choice, even though Tulane and many other universities were free. Thank you for supporting my decision. You taught me independence. And thank you for living long enough for me to get to know you. The last 7 months of your life spent at St. Margaret's was the greatest experience of my life, and I will never forget the opportunity that we had to get to know each other. You taught me humility. I love you, Robert. Matthew?
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for letting us share the stage. This is Catherine and Kevin. They were all students of Dr. Bruce, and there's a lot of others out here. If you have if you're part of the Dr. Bruce tree, would you at least stand up and wave your hand or something? We've got, Stephen and Rose. Look at all these. We're all here together. Great. We're all here to honor our great professor and colleague, and thank you. As most of you just witnessed, Dr. Bruce was a world-renowned researcher in pre-stressed concrete. He was also an outstanding teacher of civil engineering for over 45 years, right here at Tulane University in New Orleans. We're all a little bit emotional right now, and without getting too emotional, I'll try to get through this. But we lost Dr. Bruce 14 months ago, almost to the day. And I wanted to share with you what he meant to me personally, and to a lot of those out here who are watching or here or live streaming. For those in the audience who I've had the pleasure of getting to know my past 5 years as a member of the board, I'm sure you've heard me refer to Dr. Bruce on more than one occasion. I mean, he meant a lot to me and a lot to my career personally. He was more than just a mentor to a lot of us. He took the extra effort to advise us in our careers as well as our various stages of life. He not only challenged us in the classroom, but he challenged us in life to be driven and find success in whatever makes us happy, always striving for more. He was an unselfish individual who took pride in his accomplishments of his students and colleagues. In my opinion, Dr. Bruce was a model of what a teacher should be, and I hope this resonates with some of you out there as well, as we all become mentors at some point in our careers. With this said, I had the honor of presenting Dr. Bruce with the Lifetime Achievement Award back in the spring of 2016 from the old Gulf South Pre-Stressed Concrete Association, which is now the Pci Gulf South Chapter, and there's some members here this afternoon. And at that evening, for those of you who know Doc, he was a wonderful storyteller. And at times, he would lose his voice after sharing some of these stories, and maybe a few cocktails as well. But he liked to he always taught us to be prepared. And so that night, like any great engineer, he would have some notes in case his voice would go out. And so he gave me these notes, and I saved them all these years because I think that night and this afternoon, his words are actually something that today would be relevant. And so, in Dr. Bruce's own words, Matt, some now 66 years ago, I attended the first convention of the brand new Pre-Stressed Concrete Institute. The convention was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at the Lago Mar Hotel. My room was $5.12 per night, and I met some people who would later become giants of the industry. Bill Dean, Norm Scott, Tom D'Arcy, Ross Bryan, Ben Gerwick, and T.Y. Lin. A very heady experience for a 24-year-old. Meeting these people had a profound influence on my future career. I was in the design and fabrication and construction of pre-stressed concrete for 10 years, followed by 50 years in academia. However, my first love was always the Pre-Stressed Concrete Institute, so I'm much at home this afternoon. In his own words, well, Doc, I know you're looking down on us right now, and I couldn't be more proud of being up here. Congratulations on a well-deserved honor, on a lifetime of work, and I know you'd be happy of receiving it in the city that you love. Thanks again, Doc. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. On behalf of the power invested in me, I would like to hand this to Catherine Raymond for her safekeeping.
Now I'd like to invite past chair of the Board of Directors, Jay Soroki, to join us on stage.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today. Thank you for the wonderful attendance, and it's been quite a year, I know, for all. It's been the honor of my career to represent High Concrete Group on the Board of Directors and on the Executive Committee with members that I respect dearly. My year as chairman certainly came with some unexpected twists, and I'm proud of the work that we were able to achieve. But rather than go into the accomplishments and bore you, in fact, if my wife were here, she would have leaned over to me right before I came up and said, "Keep it short, honey." So I'm going to try to do that. I'd rather take a moment to talk about just one regret. I regret not spending more time talking about DEI. For those of you who may not know what DEI stands for, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And if you're a business owner, a leader, or a manager, and you don't know the importance of DEI, please take some time to educate yourself. A high percentage of our workforce is foreign-born or one generation away. I was struck recently by some statistics that I'd like to share. One in particular is that without immigration, our population growth in the U.S. would actually be negative. I also learned that 28% of the medical doctors in the U.S. today were foreign-born, and that women are nearly half of the U.S. workforce but only 27% of the STEM workforce. One other statistic that I learned is that the DEI committee for PCI that was held this morning had only 10 attendees. And I think we can do better. We have the ability to change. And the best way to ensure specific result is to take specific actions. And that takes courage. So I'd like to share with you a quote about courage from the late Dr. Maya Angelou, who said, "Courage may be the most important of all of the virtues, because without it, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. You can practice any virtue erratically, but nothing consistently without courage." So thank you very much for this opportunity, and I really look forward to spending the rest of my career here in the Precast Concrete Institute with all of the people that I respect. One last thing I'd like to share is that I really encourage you to take a look at the group Roots of Jazz that we are supporting. And I'd like to make a commitment that any donations that are made today that High Concrete will match for the Roots of Commitment. So thank you very much.
So this has been an unusual year, and of course we had a board of directors meeting back in February where we formally changed over the leadership. But at this point, we'd like to have the opportunity for Jay to formally pass the gavel to Dennis as the chair of PCI. We also have a plaque honoring Jay for his service as chairman.
Okay, so please bear with me and keep in mind that my job is pouring concrete, not speaking in front of large bodies of people. So at this time, I officially convene the annual membership meeting of the Precast Pre-Stressed Concrete Institute. I've been informed by PCI staff that we have sufficient audience and attendance to constitute a quorum necessary to conduct business in accordance with our bylaws. I'd first like to thank the PCI Secretary-Treasurer, Matt Belaine, to report on this fiscal year finances.
Sure, everyone's excited to hear this report. But in all seriousness, at the previous fiscal end, June 30th, 2020, the audited financials reported net operating income of $1.2 million, and that included the $400,000 that was budgeted for reserves. For the current fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021, the Board of Directors approved a balanced budget, which included a $400,000 increase to reserves, and PCI staff forecasts that this will actually be $530,000, which includes the $400,000 budgeted for reserves at the fiscal year end. Going forward into fiscal year 20, the R&D fund balance was $793,000. Approved projects funded during that year reduced that amount by $107,000, which resulted in an ending balance of $686,000. Now, this would probably go unnoticed, but I would like to extend a special thanks to Jay for his fiscal responsibility in getting the reserves back to a respectable balance. Through his insight and direction, those $400,000 budgeted numbers has restored PCI to the position that it needed to be in, and I would like to recognize him for those efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I I would like to ask past Chair Keith Wallace to take the stage. Keith, thank you for your service. So Keith received an honorary pen for his service. At this time, I would also like the other outgoing board members to stand and be recognized. Thank you for all the hard work that you've put in during your time on the board. Your efforts have been much appreciated. Thank you. Now we're going to announce the new officer positions going on the board. Our new council chairs are Educational Activities Council, Lloyd Kennedy, Finfrock. Please stand. And Regional Council Rep Dan Eckenrode, PCI Gulf South. Welcome to the board. Our new chapter representatives are PCI Washington, Oregon, Dusty Andrews, Knife River. PCI West, Brent Cuck, Confab, California. Mid-Atlantic, AJ Crick. PCI Central, Matt Mahansky, High Concrete Group. Florida chapter, Lenny Salvo, Core Slab Structures. And PCI Northeast, Peter Simino, Daily Precast. Thank you and welcome to the board. Our new associate members are Erectors Dennis Silly, American Steel and Precast Erectors. Supplier Rep Jim Renda, Crescent Chemical Company. And our new Executive Committee Vice Chair Matt DeVos, Secretary Treasurer Matt Belaine. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to do my best here. So first off, as your current PCI chairman, I'd like to officially welcome everybody to New Orleans and the PCI 2021 Convention and Precast Show. I mean, as Bob had mentioned earlier, it just feels great to be here. And believe it or not, in my little world, I've been thinking about this for a long time. So it's finally here and we're together again. Matt DeVos and I have started a little tradition of giving out some tidbits and facts about whatever the host city we're in, and it's kind of ironic that I'm standing here and not him because it's really his city. So I feel guilty and I apologize, Matt. But, so New Orleans' popular Bourbon Street was named after the French Bourbon dynasty, not the whiskey. And those of you who know me, that was heartbreaking. Another, kind of current relative fact, it is illegal to ride on any Mardi Gras float without wearing a mask. So they've had a mask mandate here for ever. They're at home wearing masks. Just go down to any one of these shops and you can get one. And for the transportation folks, the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway is the largest continuous bridge in the world, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Also, a couple firsts for the city. They had the first pharmacy, the first poker game, first craps game, first mixed drink, the Sazerac. Become familiar with it. America's Mafia's birthplace, not New York or Chicago. Sorry, Bob. First opera, first movie theater, the invention of dental floss by Levi Spear Parmley, hence Spearmint, and of course the birthplace of jazz. These are just a few snippets. I'm sure Matt could stand up here for hours and tell you a lot more, but that was the results of my research. Now, on to business. As your 2021 PCI chairman, I have joined the ranks of some very special people, past chairs. People that shared their time, knowledge, and dedication to the industry while still managing their own businesses from which they came. A few are present here today, and I was reminded last night at the chairs dinner just how impressive these guys are. Fred, Dean, Jay, Keith. I'm just this little guy from Pennsylvania, but I got to rub elbows with these guys, pick their brains, understand their businesses, and just watch and try to shut up and learn. And I want to thank you guys. It really meant a lot to me last night, and I had a wonderful time. I can't go any further in this address without thanking my wife, Kim. Not only is she married to me, she's also the mother to 3 sons who work in the industry, 2 of which work at NPP with me, and my youngest works for another company, but within the industry. She's endured the countless loads of laundry with concrete splatter and form oil all over them, thousands of packed lunches, and guarding the back door to stop us from coming through the house with our dirty boots on. So, thank you, Kim. Even though you're not here, you're still with me. At this time, I'd like to give a special shout out to the leadership PCI and all the alumni present here today and attending virtually. I'm officially the first LPCI graduate to serve the Institute as chairman, though I'm positive I won't be the last. So, to the group of folks who originally came up with the idea of having and starting a leadership program, thank you, number one, and two, your vision is being realized today. And just so you know, Fred took credit for that idea last night, but I won't go there. But thank you, Fred. Thank you. Now, the executive committee. It's a special group of people that you share this experience with, and we have a great team, and I've just been fortunate to be with great people. Mason, Keith, Jay, Matt DeVos, Matt Belaine, and there'll be one more person that I'll get to work with this following year. But I really want to thank you all for your time and allowing me to share this experience with you. Speaking of friendships, you know, one of the things I like most about the industry is the camaraderie and closeness that we all develop. I mean, you can always feel it, and it's between, you know, the producers, associates, engineers, from trips to Gettysburg with Randy Plitt to trips to Jamaica with Don Lowe. Yes, we went to Jamaica together and just had a blast, but we always seem to find a way to have fun after we take care of business. During my year as chair, I've been trying to attend as many chapter meetings as practical, and somehow I seem to be on the same schedule as Billy Jolly. It can be really good and it can be really bad, but most of the time it's pretty good. During my year as chair, let me back up a step. We have a lot of obstacles in front of us as we emerge from this pandemic. Hopefully, we will just have as many opportunities as well. The fact that we are right here, right now, is a great start to some return to normalcy. We're challenged with workforce and labor issues. We're challenged with state and federal governments without transportation funding and a crumbling infrastructure. The PCI Board of Directors will be meeting this Saturday to update our strategic plan, make recommendations, and try to make sure it's in alignment with our new challenges and opportunities. Finally, I would like to thank Bob Brisser and the PCI staff. It's been a pleasure to work with Bob over the last several years and get to know him as a colleague and as a friend. He has a great passion for the Institute, and there is great staff that's in place right now working hard for all of our interests. So please, if you run into them, see them in the hallway, don't just walk by them. Say thank you, because they're your employees. They're working hard for you. And I'll conclude just by thanking all of you to allow me to serve as your 2021 chairman. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Dennis. It's been wonderful getting to know you as a friend and colleague as well. I just want to, before we close, just make a few remarks. We usually talk about the PCI Foundation. So I just want to let you know a few facts and then talk about the silent auction. So this year we have 4 new programs, 4 new schools that the PCI Foundation is sponsoring at the University of Delaware in engineering, a dual program between the University of Kansas and Chico State, both engineering, construction management, and the concrete industry management program, and the University of Nebraska. That brings the total of schools, programs that the foundation has sponsored to a total of 35, and we're hardly done as we continue on with that work. So I'd like to call your attention as we close the program and head down to the show, as it's about to open at 2 o'clock. There are literally dozens and dozens of donations that have been made on behalf of the PCI Foundation and the NPCA Foundation. So please take the time to look at them, and hopefully you'll bid on them as well. And now, before we close, I'd like to just take the opportunity to acknowledge some awards that the foundation has put together. Each year, the foundation recognizes an individual who's shown exceptional leadership and work with the universities in the foundation programs. So could we have the video, please?
The PCI Foundation's Partner of the Year award goes to Bradley Williams from Clark Pacific in Fontana, California. For the past 2 years, Brad and his team at Clark Pacific have been working with USC on an ambitious project to create a precast concrete pavilion in Joshua Tree National Park.
Brad Williams and Clark Pacific have been just tremendous in helping the USC School of Architecture and our students in learning about precast concrete, and they've been setting up hands-on projects for the students, ultra-high performance concrete and GFRC, and Brad has done literally anything I have asked for. The big project, of course, is the Carapace Pavilion. We've now been going out almost 2 full years working on this project for the Shade Pavilion at Joshua Tree National Park.
Join us in congratulating Bradley Williams on receiving the 2020 PCI Foundation Partner of the Year Award.
Brad, you want to stand up and be recognized? There he is. The PCI Foundation education grants are most successful when the program also involves the community, either by bringing the community into the program or doing outreach to that. So at this point, we'd like to now acknowledge the PCI Foundation Community Involvement Award.
The PCI Foundation's Community Engagement Award for 2020 goes to Dr. Michael Carlos Berrios-Kleis from Clemson University's School of Architecture. Carlos has engaged major architectural firms, local precast producers, and the U.S. State Department in his quest to expand possibilities for his students. He also takes a group of students to Washington, D.C. annually to study the architecture of embassies and their inclusion of precast concrete.
One of the biggest things that I find the Precast Studio has brought to my teaching in architecture is finding these connections that I've been able to build between professional architects and industry and bring them all together along with students, and enriches that experience. We also are working with other architects in Washington, D.C., as well as the architects from the State Department. And I think all this combination really enriches the experience in the studio.
Join us in congratulating Dr. Michael Carlos Berrios-Kleis in receiving the 2020 PCI Foundation Community Engagement Award.
Since we limited attendance up on the stage for the awards, I'd like to let the fellows, the LPCI class, and all the award winners know we've got a spot set up right outside the room after the conclusion of the program to take individual photos. That's the end of our program. I want to take the opportunity and thank Dennis for recognizing the PCI staff. Just like for many of your companies, it's been a very trying year, and the staff came through with flying colors in delivering value to you as members, all from our homes and kitchens. Thank you again to all of you for being here and the return to some level of normalcy. I hope you've enjoyed the convention so far, and we look forward to seeing you over on the precast show floor, which opens at 2 o'clock in just a few minutes. So thank you all again, and I hope you have a great rest of the program. Good afternoon.
Thank you for attending the PCI Award Luncheon. Enjoy the rest of the convention, and please stay safe.